Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. In today's recipe, we're making this absolutely divine creamy Tuscan shrimp pasta. Super duper delicious, very easy to make. But before I show you guys how it's done, if you enjoyed today's recipe, don't forget to like. If you're new, make sure to subscribe and let's get started. Okay guys, all of the ingredients for today's recipe will be listed down below, so check that out. I am going to start by seasoning my shrimp. In the seasoning we're using today are onion powder, garlic powder, salt and pepper, Italian seasoning, Old Bay seasoning, paprika, and we have some lemon pepper as well. Shall we begin? Let's get it. I have about half a pound of shrimp. I am going to drizzle some oil to it. Once I'm done, I am going to sprinkle all of that seasoning mix on there, and I am going to use my hand to mix it in. Now that I have my shrimp nice and seasoned, we're going to let it sit for a little bit while we boil our pasta. Now to a saucepan, I am going to pour about 4 cups of water. I like to season my pasta water with some chicken bouillon as well as some salt. So pour that in there, cover it, allow it to come to a boil. So once it starts boiling, I am going to add my noodles in there. Now, I am going to cook my noodles for about 7 to 8 minutes. Once they're nice and cooked through, I am going to pour out or drain out the hot water. You are not going to pour cold water to this pasta, honey, okay? Pouring cold water to your pasta will prevent your pasta, your sauce to cling onto your pasta. So stop it. Don't do it again. Don't do that. Moving on, I am going to use the oil from the sun-dried tomato that I am using. Why not? I am going to pour it to my skillet. Once it's nice and hot, you are going to cook your shrimp. Now, you guys know shrimp doesn't take a long time to cook, so we're going to cook the shrimp for about 1 minute per side. Once one side is nice and cooked through, you are going to flip it over, allow the other side to cook. Now you see how well seasoned our shrimp looks. That is what I'm talking about when I said make sure you generously season your shrimp. So now I am going to remove the shrimp, set it aside because we're about to make our beautiful creamy sauce. Now to the same skillet, I am going to add 1 tablespoon of unsalted butter. I am going to allow it to melt for a little bit before I add the onions. Now with the onion, make sure to chop your onions very finely because in this recipe, you don't want big chunks of onions in your mouth. So when you're cutting your onions, be sure to chop it very finely. Now I'm going to cook the onion for about 60 seconds or until translucent. Then I am going to add my minced garlic. The minced garlic is going to be cooking for another, I'll say 30 seconds. And once it starts to fragrance, you can add your sun-dried tomatoes. Now, I don't know if it's me, when I use fresh tomatoes versus sun-dried tomatoes to make Tuscan recipes, I feel like the sun-dried tomatoes brings the dish to a whole nother level. So that's why I like to use sun-dried tomatoes. Okay. Now I'm going to cook the tomatoes for about 30 to 60 seconds just to release the flavor in the juice from the tomatoes. Then we are going to add our spinach. I am going to cook the spinach for about 20 seconds or until, they look cooked through. Then we can add our heavy cream. And I hate spinach because you can add a whole bucket of spinach in there. It'll still look like you added nothing. Okay. So add as much as you can when it comes to the spinach. So I am going to pour in my heavy cream, or you can use half and half. I like to give you guys options because a lot of you guys, when you say, oh, I don't have this, I don't have that, sometimes you have to, make things work yourself. So to season the sauce, I am using Italian seasoning, salt, pepper, and some chicken bouillon. So if you have some fresh basil, you can add that in there as well. But for the cheese, I am using asiago cheese. However, you can use some Parmesan cheese, mozzarella cheese, but lately I've been using asiago cheese and I am in love with the flavor. So once the cheese is nice and melted, I am going to add in my noodles. Now let's not forget about our super delicious shrimp. We're going to pour that on top and mix it in. Now I am going to mix it in just to release all of the flavor from the shrimp to the sauce. This is going to be so good, you guys. You have to try this out, especially if you have like a date night. You can make this for your lover, for your hubby, for your boyfriend, whatever, whoever feels special to you. So I'm going to mix that together just like so. Allow it to simmer on low for about 2 to 3 minutes, and at this point it is done, honey. You are ready to devour this dish. It's so flavorful. It's packed with flavor. It's so creamy. Oh, it's so yummy. In my humble opinion, I will say this dish is definitely a 10 out of 10. Would make again. It was super flavorful, very creamy. The shrimp was absolutely divine. I hope you guys try this out for your family. Let me know what you think down below. And don't forget to thumbs it up. I will see you guys on the next recipe. Bye, guys.